G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a nail gun from Black Ops Cold War. Now, there's a reason why I'm doing this gun today, not because it showed up on the hot mods on the Nexus, although that could be one of the reasons, but as of this recording, I shot myself with a nail gun today, straight through the tip of my middle finger, and it hurt, so I'm going to spread the pain around virtually with a nail gun in Fallout 4. It's context sensitive. Anyways, this is a standalone weapon. It's got custom sounds and custom reload animations. It's a nail gun meant for construction, so the damage is only small and it uses the nails as ammo, which I've got the optional version of this mod which allows me to craft them at a workbench for just 3 steel. I've actually used that nail gun quite a bit. Now I'm scared of it because it'll get my finger, just take my whole finger off, make my hand explode. That's how it works in real life. That's how it works in Fallout, right? So you can actually make this automatic. In Call of Duty, it's actually classed as a submachine gun weapon. So it's a short-barreled automatic thing that fires pistol rounds. Well, that's kind of what a submachine gun is. But this one's firing nails. Having an automatic nail gun, no. I wouldn't do that in real life. It's impractical. You'll use up all your nails and not to mention dangerous. No way. Right, so you can have iron sights, a reflex sight, which is mounted by, I guess it's, it's nailed into it. I'm not really sure how exactly that's mounted. There's also this Robco hollow sight and a 4x scope for reasons that are quite beyond my comprehension. We'll throw the reflex sight on and we will move on. You can't change the magazine. We've just got the standard removable one. The one that I use has an inbuilt magazine. You throw the nails in the bottom, kind of like you would with a self-loading rifle from the First World War with like a big stripper clip. But yeah, this one's actually got a magazine. This has got a pneumatic mechanism, which I believe has... I mean, that's the reason for that. Normally, I think this thing would be powered by air. You plug in a generator or air compressor, put that in, and then power that air compressor, and you just keep hitting nails all the time. The one that I used was one of those portable cordless versions. It has a little gas canister in the back. You just tuck it in there, and as you fire, the gas powers the nail, but the whole thing is powered by that small little battery in the front. You also have an electromagnetic mechanism here. It's got a higher range and a lower rate of fire, which is an interesting one. So perhaps if you wanted to go for a automatic version, you'd get the pneumatic, and electromagnetic you want to go for if you're using this thing in a semi-auto fashion. Next up, you can put a laser sight on the side of this because reasons. You have laser-guided nails, even though normally you just hold the muzzle right up to where you want to nail, thus making this laser sight completely worthless for its intended purpose, but that's fine, whatever. And a bayonet, that's interesting because most of these nail guns have a sort of safety mechanism that doesn't actually allow you to put a nail in unless that little 4-barrel is depressed. Now, unfortunately, it looks like that is just completely blocked now. So I'm guessing that safety has been removed to allow this thing to fire. But I do think it's kind of neat that you've got little nails on the front like a bayonet. There's also a nail heater here, which gives you a little bit of a flamer lighter there, which apparently passing over that for just a fraction of a second is going to heat the nails up to give me 30 Skyrim flame damage. So hell yeah, we'll do that. And you can chuck some damage modifiers on this thing. I'm wagering that should you chuck on a standard receiver and have the damage modifier down to nothing, well, you can actually get 0 damage there. You break even. Yeah, okay, so if you use the standard automatic with the minus 100% damage, then you can just clock that over to one-shot kill everything, which would be funny, but let's not do that. We're going to leave this at none. But I will quickly scroll through these just in case you are interested in seeing what kind of things or what kind of damage levels you can get with these modifications. And that's it. Legendary effect is there if you need it. It's fine. We can do without it. We're hitting 80 damage with this thing. So getting this weapon is real easy. Like a lot of the COD ports, you got the whole section on the workbench of the chemistry variety for you to craft them. Like I said before, this one has the nails. You can craft them. 3 steel equals 15 nails, which is honestly a pretty good deal. And for gun nut rank 2 and these resources, you may craft these for yourself, which is an interesting prospect considering how much damage you get out of this, but I don't think this is a performance weapon as much as it's a gimmick weapon. Okay, so here's a weird thing. Should you choose to have this as a semi-auto with the advanced receiver, you'll actually lose out on a precious 15 Skyrim flame damage. Also, this has got a scope on it. It's sniper status nail gun. Hello, I'm Captainoob. Welcome to Captainoob's tool reviews. Today we are looking at 120 PSI duty tool nail gun, powered by complete willpower alone. How much penetration do you get with these nails? Well, let's see. Well, this one fizzled out of existence, so hang on. These nails aren't holding. Alright, a quick trip to Bunnings and back. With the receipt in hand, I got my unit replaced for free on them, so very good. Let's finally test this particular nail gun here on this timber wooden frame thing. If we put a nail right there, as you can tell, there is absolutely zero penetration for that nail. I'm not even sure that's how that's being held on. That's not even in. Perhaps there's a giant magnet around the other side, but yeah. No power in this nail gun to make it penetrate even the most basic and softest of 2-century-old timber. Let's try metal instead, because this wouldn't be a bad idea in real life. Okay, apparently it can penetrate sheet metal just fine, but this, whatever this is, the hardwood, maybe the nuclear fallout that's soaked into it over the years has hardened it to a level which would never be seen in real life. So, there you go. We've take this thing on a construction site and you might be able to nail through sheet metal, but not timber, which, you know, if you're doing a steel frame, it's still not going to help because you need screws to hold that thing together, so you shit out of luck. Buy a Pazload. Functionally, this is basically like a mini railway gun, meaning you leave behind tiny physical projectiles which can be stacked into a wall like that, and you can jump on them like that, and it's a completely safe practice and a thing that you can do in real life, just like standing on noggins in a frame. You definitely won't fall. It's about as safe as staring down the barrel of a loaded gun whilst holding the trigger, so, you know, can recommend. Anyways, let's actually shoot targets now and not worry about putting frames together, because honestly, this place is just a lost cause. We'll knock it down and we'll start anew, and I'll roof it. Okay, welcome to the construction site. We've equipped a hard hat, but we don't have high vis, but the supervisor's not on site, or he won't be in a matter of time, so I think we'll be fine to get away with that. Anyways, here's the nail gun and all of its glory in first person, souped up with a reflex sight and a laser sight, which don't even line up with each other. That's unfortunate. And this is the one that I was shooting at a wall. So just as a reminder, this one has the flaming barrel attachment on it, which has a little flame thing. It'll turn all of your projectiles into incendiary projectiles, because that's what happens with nails when you put a lighter under them. Okay. This is what it looks like when it's firing full auto, by the way. I gotta say that it's doing a lot more than I thought it would, and I think most of that is because of that glorious Skyrim damage of the flame variety. We're gonna shoot this guy normally. Gotta admire the rate of fire, despite being powered by nothing but will. We're actually getting this thing firing pretty fast. It's pretty good, but I don't think that we'll be able to kill this gunner in any good time at all. Gotta tell ya, you know, putting a nail through your finger, this guy's taking nails to the torso, head, arms, and what have you pretty well. And I've just crashed the game because I let them shoot at me too long. I think we get the idea. Let's not use the semi-auto one. It's garbage. Righto, let's go again. Don't have the hard hat this time, but if anyone asks, I'm supposed to be on Smoko, so she'll be right, mate. Let's get started, and we'll keep shooting these guys. We're still in caution despite firing what I would believe to be a pretty loud weapon. Like, they're not quiet, these things, in real life. You'd figure out what's coming from, but maybe they're supposed to be, like, slightly quiet. They've reduced the audio, not audio sound per se, but the sound on the creation kit. Let's use this thing in VATS for a little bit. Not on the mine, though. We don't have to worry about that. I think a lot of the damage problems we might be getting are just because this thing just doesn't have a lot of range. Although we can 95 every limb that guy has, and he does not stand up to the Skyrim flame damage nails, that's for sure. And you can bugger off. And a cheeky little level up there, perhaps a little bit premature. I might need that a little bit later on when we are utilizing, well, when we're getting shot at by a lot more than just one dude. And again, this is the standard one. Not particularly pleased with it. But this, the Skyrim flame damage carrying the whole weapon, it's working pretty well. Unfortunately, I'm in danger, but there we go. It's also firing these nails at a velocity that you'd really think would get through a little bit of timber, but I don't know. Something radioactive power. To keep this VATS thing up, that guy's got his face crippled because he must have run into some nails directed at the other guy. But I'm thinking, okay, that's blatantly a bullet and not a nail. That might just be a Creation Club error. You can actually choose different VATS projectiles for the weapon under projectiles, something like that. But the option, oh boy, the grenade launcher guy's back, and I just got sent flying across the room. So we're gonna have to play this a little bit cautiously. I'm gonna crit this guy just because I want him gone. Nice try crit. little trifecta there. That was very fast. I'm actually surprised. We've got him staggered out of his cover there. That's not too bad. I've switched over to the bad one, though. It's unfortunate that that's not actual, like a real scope. It's a see-through scope with a little bit more magnification than your standard reflex sight. But the problem is there, I don't get the sniper knockdowns, which I can't use to neutralize targets, would be a little bit out of this weapon's reach. Now, where's grenade launcher guy? I survived. I survived the major ragdolling. I don't know exactly where he hit, but it wasn't me, so that's fine. Gotta say, the incendiary nails, they're doing the trick, even though it defies all logic and science. And I'm thinking, during the night, I might be able to just get a cheap, sneaky kill with this thing. 60-round magazine. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling submachine gun sort of things. I'm guessing the weapons, animations, and such sounds are just ported from Call of Duty as well, so it's all a very well put together weapon, and a gimmick weapon, so I can't really rate it on damage, but I would at least say that it was more effective than I thought it would have been. And now that everyone on the site is dead, I get to clock off early and go home and drink Bundy. What a day. Alright, looks like we're doing a little bit of overtime, working at midnight. That's fine. We've got flashlights and construction site lights around, so I think we'll be okay. Now, unfortunately, I am currently in danger from the big guy, so I'm gonna go over here and wait till he calms down a little bit. Maybe we'll pick up some grub on the way in the form of this glowing mongrel. There we go. Ouchies. Stop that. That hurts. Not as much as putting a nail through your finger, but nonetheless, like having your skull crushed by an anchor, that's instant death. You gotta suffer with a nail in your finger. And he hits me in caution. Absolute cheat. Alright, so now we get to shoot him in the head over and over. This thing's efficient on VATS, so we can let concentrated fire just pick up the slack on this thing. 142 damage. I mean, I've shot him for worse. That's for sure. Well, I guess we'll just keep going. See if we can pull some extra damage out of this thing. Maybe he's a little bit closer now. We might be able to see just a little bit more. That's 421. What? Okay, now it's less. He may have seen us by now, or he just got wised up to the occasion. I don't know. So, this sneak attack crit frequency combined with the astonishing rate of fire makes this weapon potentially effective, at least at low levels. Obviously, it's punching right above its weight here, but despite that, we're still making a decent mark on this fella's hitbox. And again, like, that 30 of that damage is coming straight from the Skyrim damage numbers, but still, it's really sort of carrying the thing at the moment. Can't deny it, though. It seems to be an effective thing. We have the Mysterious Stranger. You might come in and steal the kill here. It'll be the standard apprentice that shows up and finishes the last thing and says, "I did everything." The bloke who shows up after all the hard work's done. Yeah, that kind of dude. Anyways, that's it for Swan, but I'm not done yet. There's one more thing we gotta do because, well, it's a nail gun, so it should be overpowered. I have to show you some hyper-realistic damage for a nail gun, starting with this guy. Okay, for real this time, for actual real nail gun damage. That one was just a warm-up. Yeah. That's about as much damage as these things cause. And I went through that today. I did like 100,000 damage with a sneak attack crit. I wasn't expecting it. And I survived. People think Joshua Graham's tough for being set on fire and thrown down the Grand Canyon or whatever. But he never had to endure one of those things. Ooh, ouchies. It's not good. Oh, nice. We got that. We got that slow-mo right as the grenade exploded, and then that guy's decided to sacrifice himself to the Dark Lord Cthulhu, which will deny him the pleasure of doing that, unless he dies to the acid he's standing in. Yep, there he goes. So yeah, you just one-shot everything with this, including this little babby raider with that weird Skrillex-looking haircut. Where do you think you're going? And now for the main event. Gotta pop a fresh mag in just in case we miss 59 times. And I should be able to knock this guy out in one shot. Yep, there he goes. Every now and then you get the damage slider mods, and the damage is low enough to make it deal into the negatives. And this is just one of those occasions. And we went into slow motion for no reason. I'm guessing the mutants over there are engaging some Brotherhood of Steel, and something just won the fight. Anyways, that there was a nail gun from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. If you're interested in seeing this weapon in your game, check out link in the description, shall be down there. If you're interested in seeing this thing, I'd like to stress that I like this thing more than the vanilla game not Radium Rifle. Radium Rifle's awesome. Railway Rifle. I think it's better. Throw it at me. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Good job, Allah. You didn't manage to take your fingers out or anything. Good job.